So jacked up on butts right now. Let's go. Pork butt video coming at ya. Hey gang, what's up? It's MAZIE with BBQ by MAZIE. If you're new, thanks for stopping by. And if you're coming back, truly appreciate the support of my channel. Listen, wait, why don't you subscribe while you're here? All right, listen, I've got quite the treat for all of us today because I don't even know how this cook is going to turn out. I am putting my Pit Boss battery operated portable to the test today with a pork butt. And I'm going to attempt to only use the battery that it comes with and not have to plug it in. Now, if you have the portable, you know that it can use the battery or you can plug it in. But today I want to see if we can cook this whole butt just using battery power. All right, so for this cook, we are going to do a hot and fast pork butt. You can apply this method on any of your smokers. You can even use your oven. It's a very simple and easy method to get a pork butt without having to wait all day. So let's go ahead and stop yapping. I'm gonna cut myself off here and let's dive right in and start prepping this pork butt. To start the prep on our butt, I've got a knife here. I'm using the Pit Boss Pro Series knife, found at Lowe's. So let's inspect our butt. Got a nice looking butt here. This is going to be the side that goes in the top of the smoker. And this is our fat cap. So we're gonna be smoking it fat cap down. Fat cap looks pretty good. As with any other meat, I like to use the fat cap as like a layer of protective against the heat, especially where we're going hot and fast. But you can see right here, we've got a pretty thick layer of fat. So I'm just gonna take some of this off using my sharp knife. And it's the thickest right here at this point. So I'm just gonna come in at about halfway and trim some of that off. I'm gonna see if I can just not end up in the emergency room today. That's pretty good. Might have got a little too close there. And then there's just another little thick piece. I'm gonna just take a little bit of that off. And that's all I'm gonna do. Looks good. Now, if you had any weird bits like extra meat hanging off that, you know, happened in the butcher process, you'd take that piece off. But honestly, I think this looks pretty good. So I'm gonna start with the fat side. Using mustard as a binder, you don't have to use anything as a binder because this meat already has enough moisture on it. But we're just going to use a little bit of mustard. You won't taste it after your butt is cooked at all. Just slather that on. This is just gonna help the rub stick. Now I want to point out I'm doing this right now. The smoker is not on, and I'll tell you why as we're seasoning our butt with Memphis barbecue rub by Pit Boss. So I'm getting this butt prepped. Once it's prepped, I'll go turn my smoker on. I just want to allow time for the seasoning to kind of sink down into that meat, kind of sweat out a bit. So I'll let it sit for about 15 minutes before we put it on the smoker. And you know, pork butt's a big old piece of meat, so we can go heavy on the seasoning. Okay, now let's flip it. We're gonna do our edges. Oh, she's a slippery old girl. Now we're gonna do the top of our butt because I saved this part for last because this is our presentation piece. This is what's gonna look good in all the pictures and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So we want this side to be looking nice. The thing I like about this rub is it's got a good flavor for pork, but it's also got a good color that's gonna give you that pretty mahogany looking color that you want on your pork. Okay, that looks good. Our butt is seasoned and ready. So let's head over to the smoker. All right, so while our pork butt is now sweating it out, getting that rub all slathered in on it, we're gonna head over to the portable. We're going to put the battery in, turn the power on, open the smoker lid, and set it to smoke. All right, once we hear the fire burning in the pot, we're gonna crank up the temperature to 300 for this cook. Remember I said we're going hot and fast. So 300 is the temperature we're going to use for the majority of this cook. Okay, that's it. So I'll see you back over at the smoker. Remember, for this cook, it's going to be super important that we are aware of our pellet level. The hopper is pretty little. So every time I come out to spritz, I'm going to check the pellet level. I have a nice full hopper now with competition blend pellets, and we're just going to want to keep an eye on that. That's going to probably be our most important situation of this cook, that we don't run out of pellets. That's never something you want to do in the middle of a cook. All right, our smoker is up to temp. Let's go ahead and go get our butt. I'm going to get my butt. All right, pork butt is sweaty. Can you kind of see how it's a little glossy looking? That means it did just what we wanted it to do. So let's go ahead, get our pork butt on the smoker. Oh, she's a pretty old girl. Oh, she's so pretty. Now that our butt is on the smoker, we're just going to be checking on it throughout the first maybe 2, 3, 4 hours. So we're gonna come back out in 45 minutes, see if it needs a little dranky drink, a little spritzy spritz. And that's all we're gonna be doing for the first little while. I've had people say they've never actually seen me drink the Diet Coke, but I can assure you, I've already got my Route 44 this morning, ready to go, fueling the body. So I'm gonna go inside, sip on my Diet Coke. I'll see you back out here in 45 minutes. Let's go. All right, we're out here. It's been 45 minutes to spritz our pork butt. You can see right here it's getting a little bit dried out, and up here it's not as much. But since we're cooking at a high temperature, I do want to spritz as frequently as I can just to make sure we're keeping that pork butt moist. So I'm going to go down the edges where it was kind of dried out and just lightly spray the top. That's all we're going to do for this check-in. Oh yeah, you guys almost let me forget to check my pellet level. Oh, we're doing just fine. So I don't think we're gonna need to check it every 45 minutes, which is excellent news. Okay, another 45 minutes. All right, so one thing worth mentioning is that whenever you're headed into a long cook, so something like a pork butt, you wanna make sure you're starting with a nice, clean smoker. I cleaned this smoker for the first time yesterday. I've used it a ton, but I knew I was gonna be using it a lot today. So make sure that you are starting with a nice clean smoker for your cook to go as good as it possibly can. All right, we just spritzed our butt. I'm gonna be back out here in another 45 minutes to spritz. I'm gonna kind of speed through this next process so you don't have to watch, but I am going to be spritzing, checking on the pellets every 45 minutes for the next probably 2 to 3 hours. So I'll see you back here in just a couple hours, okay? Can you mingle about yourselves for that long? Want to point out it's been 2 hours-ish. Actually, it's been over 2 hours, 2.5 hours. We're down 1 notch on the battery, so we'll see how long it lasts. All right, guys, bringing you back in after a 2-hour wrap sesh. Honestly, I thought this butt was going to need to be wrapped a little longer, but I decided to just check on the temperature after 2 hours, and it was probing so tender. Internal temperature is 202, which is always a nice little target to keep an eye out for, but I hate to give you a temperature because sometimes 202 is just not tender enough, but in this case, it's probing perfectly. You can see it just slides in. There's no resistance. That is exactly what we're looking for. So today, hold on, I gotta count. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. Okay. All right, so today this pork butt took a total of 6 hours cook time. Just for reference, I started the butt at 9 a.m. this morning. At 3 o'clock, it was probing nice and tender. So this is always a good method if you're trying to make pulled pork or something for a dinner event or for your family. Hot and fast is gonna get it done, and it's still a nice tender end product. We love to see it. Let's freaking go. Before we shred it, I just want to catch you up to speed real quick on where we're at with the battery power. So I showed you that it went 1 notch down. It stayed that way the entire cook. So I've got 3 lit up notches at the end of a 6-hour cook. Super impressed with the efficiency of the Pit Boss Portable. I did end up filling up the pellets one time just because it was getting a little low, but it didn't even use a full hopper of pellets, so super impressed. All right, if you have made it this far with me in the video, please do me the pleasure of commenting Pink Pig down below, just so I know who's hanging out with me till the end of the video. All right, before you go, let's wrap things up. And of course, I gotta shred it. I gotta give it a taste. I gotta let you know how it is. All right, so we got that out. It's extremely moist and hot. Woo! That's some good barbecue. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Truly appreciate the support. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, comment, all that jazz. I'll see you back out here next time. You have a great rest of your day, okay? Let's freaking go! I wonder if I could have him say something about a butt. I don't want YouTube to get me in trouble. Better not.